much as I thought I could plan a podcast, that is not going to happen. I do not have the mindset to sit here. Chop up block for block how I'm going to tell you about weight loss and weight gain. Good evening on this Friday, May 6th, 2022. The time is 12:01 a.m. and welcome to Early in the AM with Each. As you can see, I'm not sleepy. I thought I was tired, but I'm not. I just want to talk a little bit about what I was talking about in rice and beans and weak links. And talk about weak-mindedness, where it comes from. Listen, I don't know if it's an actual physical weakness that you can find, like if a doctor x-rays your head. It might be like a soul trait or a spiritual aspect of the mind, and the connection is awry. It's not in a way where it complements the horde. It kind of strikes against it in some way. Something went flip-floppy, and it's striking it in opposite directions instead of in the accordance of all going in similar or in the same direction. I think a lot of the self-hate I had developed toward myself over the years was because of that. And it wasn't even in the moment, it was the after effects. And I'm still dealing with that today. You make a very weak-minded decision. And it's the consciousness that gets you. And then the voices who make up your consciousness that get you even more. That makes the sting so unbearable that you further inflict yourself into more stupidness. Not knowing how powerful your brakes are. Or if you just let the thing sting till it's failed, just take the sting. Then you might be better for it. You may learn that life has a big stinger. Stop jumping in the way and say, hey, you haven't stung me here. Maybe it won't hurt as much. And I think you're saying, I can do this forever. You're not, I'll just make you my permanent victim if you keep making yourself available that way. Well, learning how to take criticism and learning how not to be so headstrong and dominant at what you feel is correct. I had to learn a lot that not to force my will on other people. Just because, your heart is pounding out of your head doesn't mean you get a right to force your way of life on someone else. Very stupid mistakes. I kept mixing art and life together. I didn't keep them separate. I kept taking everything I learned on TV and applying it, no matter how astronomically off it was, and applying it to real life situations. And I got so messed up. I got so judged and pushed to the side. I got stole on, cheated, and made an example of. And then in my vengeance, in my jealousy, in my stupidness and not knowing where it was coming from, I made it worse. I kept giving it a voice. I kept giving it a body to exercise that devil. It's not even a devil, it's confusion. And confusion can be the devil for some people. Clarity will make you see yourself for who you are. Clarity, I just need to see for 2 seconds. And in that 2 seconds, whatever it sees exposes you the fraud that you are, so to speak. It may mean well. You may mean well. Like I can say to you, the earth is a person. And she has this billion-year relationship with the sun, and it's like a mother and a father. You can see it for yourself if you go out there and look. And it's a great affirmation. It's a great thing to base a belief in how strong a relationship can be and how long it can last. But to say it's the truth, or to tell somebody to live their life according to that, or me myself to live, like, be putting myself on that map. This is a huge pushback because it's not astronomically possible to some extent. It's good to write down, to jot with the idea, but when you look at life at that scale, life is going to expect you to keep seeing it that way. And the moment you slip and you don't see it, you get pushed to the back. And you don't want to get so, opened and exposed to such a bigness that the small things in life escape you. And that's where all the riches and the roots of life build from. The next thing you know, life builds right next to your idea, and you can't touch it. Nothing. I don't know if it says in the Bible about heaven and hell. The difference between heaven and hell is looking at the thing and not being able to touch it or to join into it. Standing outside of the big party and you're not invited, and when you try to go in, there's an electric fence pushing you back. Like warning signs and triggers that if you touch this, everybody's going to know you touched it. Everybody's going to be informed. So stay back. I think that's the biggest thing about confusing, life and art. Taking, having crushes on cartoon characters and then applying those feelings to a real person. Taking that same buildup of emotions you've had for, let's say, Jason from Voltron Force, and in your mind you're with him in the Black Lion. He's your man. He rescued you from all the evil, and you've got this fictional pillar of love in your heart. And then you go out and you have a crush on someone, but you're applying those same rules to the crush. And then when you get hurt in the end, you're like, what happened? What went wrong? Because me and Jason are still okay. Why are me and this person not okay? And that's the anatomy of it. That's the bigness of the creative part. Same thing with the planet. It's on a bigger scale where it can be manipulated any way you want to, but its course doesn't change. And what we do with people is we try to force them into a bigness where we change them for the better of us. And as soon as they say no, as soon as they hit you back, as soon as they show you who they are, you don't believe them. It's just a catastrophe for me. To this day, I still struggle with separating the life and the art part. Taking the people I see on TV and I love their work so much, I think I can just befriend them outside of their work because I love them that much. It's no different. Trying not to be so mentally attached to the things I love to laugh at or the things that make me laugh that I'm disturbing them in their real life with it. Not knowing how to turn the TV off and just open the Bible and just separate myself from the masses. Turn down for real. Put some silence in my background and my foreground. Put an out of order sign on my mouth. My sexual organs, saying these things is truly just out of order. Something's wrong here. It's not lined up right. I'm thinking on how many times I've pursued entertainment this way or my entrepreneurship and not being able to make money off of it because I still don't have the balance between the money and the moral. Not knowing where to engage the businessman and where to engage the artist. And they can see it. They can see that it's not. They just see right through me. They take advantage. They beat me to my heartbeat. Next thing you know, I'm punked out of all the confrontational situations. And it's not confrontation. It's just being present and aware of the business side of life. So life is very much a business. It's very much a statehood. And it's never going to deviate from that. War is the central theme. As soon as you go into war with your crayons, you'll die every time. I don't know who. It's a constant legal battle. I'll tell you that. Running to the lawyer. Help me, please. I don't know the difference between business and art in real life. I don't know where to draw the line between the streets and the industry. I know there's a line there. It's always is. They cross each other millions of times a day, but the line is still drawn. Help me. I've made so many mistakes. I have invited so many things into my life, and I'm so toxic now. I don't know how to get it out. Help me. How do you explain that to a lawyer? What do you want them to do? They'll just say, okay, tell me everything you've done illegal, what you think you might go to jail for, and then go and tell all this stuff to your shrink. And then maybe they'll give you some medicine to calm your brain down. Well, it could be that. It could be those such things. I've never talked to a lawyer about anything in my life. Anything, like, legally, there's something he can advise me on. Especially about putting my work out in the world without setting boundaries for the public. Boundaries for myself. I can't just keep taking these YouTube instrumentals and putting my wordplay on it and say, oh, this is just for you to listen to. That's not how it works. People steal people's stuff and play it as their own. Now they're getting sued, and then you're getting sued for not putting the boundary there in the first place. You've been out here your mind has been out here for 20 years, and you never thought that maybe your intellectual property may be at jeopardy. It never crossed your mind. Intellectual property is very powerful. It's a financial kingdom. People living off of your dreams and your glory and your hard work, and you're okay with it. Maybe you are that dumb. Learn how to separate these things. Maybe, we'll find a loophole and we'll work a system together and we can get something back. Give you something back that you gave. Karma doesn't work according to, the masses. You know what I mean? They keep piling on top of each other to stop one thing from happening. I'm stopping myself because I'm crossing that line again. Do it all the time. I'm coming up on 12 minutes. Yeah, that mental weakness. The thing is, I know how weak I can be, though. I know my limits. I can feel myself to the bottom of the worst things I've ever done. And I can do it with a clean mind. So as long as I can touch that place and come back to my central self, there's really not much you can say around me aside of striking me in my naivete. If you have power and position in my life, that still stings. And the lash outs come. The words come up. I try to argue my point, but I know it's short-lived. There's no win there for me to win because I know where my biggest battle is. My truest battle. We have a lot of artists who immensely talented, powerful beyond their wildest dreams, but the demons take them out before, their true power can show. I'm too scared to not be me. I'm so scared to not be me. I'm so scared to not be me. And I'm gonna lose something. Even if I lose everything in the process. I'm so scared to lose me at the end of the day. And I keep putting myself before everything. And I know that can be challenges my challenge. It's because of that I don't have a job right now. And I'm on literally borrowed time. On borrowed materials. I don't know what I'm waiting for. What I'm waiting for. In my crop, I guess. Just in my crop, sitting and waiting. Well, I do need to get some sleep because it's supposed to rain tomorrow. And I got a lot of stuff to do. I got to put out a lot of my dresses and my summer clothes so I can get ready for life in the day as it comes. Well, love. This is it again. If I have anything else to say, I'm going to pop right back up. But I thank you for listening. And see you when I see you. Talk to you later. As much as I thought I could plan a podcast, that is not going to happen. I do not have the mindset to sit here.
block to block how I'm going to tell you about weight loss and weight gain.